If you want a whole suite of mixing plugins for free, the company's called Analog Obsession. I have so many plugins from this company. I just want to thank the company firstly. There's so many on the website. I couldn't even cover them in this video. Let's do before and after. So here's before their plugins. Let's turn the plugins on. It's like the plugins add this life to the sound. So I'll quickly go through the plugins because it's kind of arbitrary what I'm using because I'm sound designing with these plugins. The first plugin I tried out is called 2Pre. And in short, what this does is it adds like a sizzle to your sound. So this is going to add that this is for Playboi Carti type beats, basically. You just drive the input. Let's turn off the drums for a second. Let me turn the chain on. Okay. So here it goes. It's ripping the sound apart. So this is great for Playboi Carti beats. This beat it didn't need this effect. But those harmonics are crazy. So you could pull back the mix level if it's too much. Kind of blend it in. That's for more aggressive type beats. Again, there's so many plugins on the website that I can't cover them all. I'm just going to leave a link below to their website. So this one's called either Colin or Colin MB, probably Colin MB. Multiband. And so basically you push the volume into the compressor to get it to react and then just mess with the attack time. So this is just adding curvature. If I wanted the bass to be more shapely, I could just push the input. So it's just good for making the beat bounce a little bit. Just experiment with the inputs and the output knob, and then you'll get your result. Basically, once you see this needle moving, you might have to compensate with output. So just push your input, you might have to compensate with output. And if the compressor's moving too fast, turn up your attack time. And then mess with the mix level right there. Okay, so that's that. Now this is their new compressor. It's called the FET CB. It looks like the 1176. The main difference is the threshold and the mix level here. Now I like it because it creates this linear cream sound for my track. So listen to what it does to this. It just pulls everything together and it creates this space for both the bass and the instruments. It is pushing down on the compressor pretty hard with my settings, but I like the sound of the compression. So this compressor is a color. It adds color, meaning harmonic. So it's going to add a little bit of saturation to it. It just sounds good. Okay, even me pushing it pretty hard. Next one's called Combox. I don't use this one. I don't think I use this one on this one, but it has a filter, a 20 hertz filter, 20K filter built in, and then high frequency, mid frequency, lows. So your general 3 kind of critical band EQ. Next, we have the Eureka. I think it's called Eureka or Eureka or Your EQ. Not pronounce these. This is a magical EQ. There's something about the 830 and the 4 kilohertz that sound really good. Okay. So I'll reset these. Something about this EQ that when you boost it, it doesn't get aggressive on the ear. Like I'm boosting this pretty heavy, 6 dB, but it's not harsh to my ear. So I don't know what they did on the back end of this EQ, but it's not a harsh EQ. And then you can push 800 and this really pulls up your track. So this thing is a magical EQ. I've never seen an EQ this precise. So something magical about these frequencies here. I can't explain that one. Nextly is BitPressor. Or BritPressor. And it's a limiter and compressor. I was using it on a different chain, but you could use this to tame your vocal. So here's the limiter right here. So if you really wanted to make it linear, you could add that into the limiter. I didn't use the limiter on this chain because I'm just sound designing a sound. Next is tuba. You just push the input level and it creates harmonic content. Similar to the 2 pre. I'll see if I can exaggerate this. Hear that ripping? I don't want to play it too long because it might hurt your ears. But you could push that. Again, something about these plugins that is not harsh to my ear. I don't know what they did on the back end, but it sounds really good. And you could push these really hard without it sounding bad. Another cool one is called the Colin. I'm just going to call it Colin. The Colin compressor, a very limiting amplifier, it says. And so it's just capturing the peaks of the audio, including the drums. And you can adjust the attack and release right there, but I set it to default. So let's turn the drums back on. So I'm going to push this just so you can see how far we could push these compressors without it sounding bad. Now you could tell it's compressing at this point, but it sounds so good that you want to push the compressor even harder. This company, the fact that these are free is wild to me. Like, this is, how can I explain this? Basically, with analog stuff, you could push it a lot harder than digital stuff. Whatever the designers did with these plugins, you could push them way harder than typical digital stuff. And they're free plugins for now. I don't know how long they'll be free, so I can't guarantee these will be free in the future, but so grab them now, because who knows when the plugin developers decide to change their mind. And there's so many on the website, I forgot to download a ton more. So let's just hear all this together. I'm going to play before and after. Here's before, but I'm keeping the limiter on. Here's after. I forgot to turn on my other plugins I had. Let's do before and after. Here's before. Before. Here's after. I can't believe these plugins are free, y'all. I can't believe I even missed the fact that they're giving out way more plugins than what I had listed at first. The new one's called FET-CB, but just try to grab them all. I'm going to leave the link below. Make sure you click on the hamburger in the top right and then go to each thing, you know, where it says EQ, dynamic processing, bundles, I forget the other, saturation. Click on each one of those tabs because there's plugins on each tab. You'll see them. My brain isn't working. Subscribe if you're new. Peace.